Thank you, Randy. Before we go to the first panel, I just want to explain the process of what we're going to do this afternoon and then tomorrow. For each panel that we have reserved a third of the time for conversation and discussion with the audience. And to do that, we will be passing around index cards for people to write down questions. So when you see them coming your way, each panel, you know what they're for. Without any further ado, let me bring up the panel for this evening, which is taking on the question of the economy and the importance of the public sector for the economy.
Well, hi, welcome. I'm Harold Meyerson. Welcome to what is, I don't doubt, the most informative alternative to the Friday afternoon rush hour in Washington. This is a panel that will be discussing the role of the public sector, the vital role of the public sector in the economy. I became aware of the disjuncture between the reality and the perceptions of this a long time ago. I spent the first half century of my life, which was the second half century of the 20th century, in Los Angeles, and as libertarian sentiment arose, I kept thinking, this city would not be here but for its collective decision to steal water from Northern California, but for the port, which is today the center of 40% of the imports into the United States that the city collectively built, but for the Pacific War that was fought between 1941 and 1945 and all the defense and aerospace establishments that grew up, that really was the economic basis for California Dreamin' as I was a teenager. And that was because all of those facilities, after some struggle, were unionized and created a vibrant working class and middle class in the California of the mid-20th century, when it was really the epicenter of the American dream. So the disjuncture between the dependence of the California economy on a vibrant public sector and public spending, and the great University of California and public education system that arose there, and the libertarian beliefs that began to arise in the state, subject of Bob Kuttner's first book, which was on Proposition 13, was very clear then, and the disjuncture between the vibrance of the public sector and its role in the economy and prevailing beliefs now, if anything, has grown more dramatic. And today we're going to hear from three panelists whom I will introduce en masse here, and you'll be hearing from them, and then we will have a little discussion here and a discussion that involves your participation as well. Speaking first will be one of the great, gutsy, I'd say heroic, working leaders of workers in this country, not just today, but for all time. When the Service Employees International Union, under the leadership, yes, you, of Mary Kay Henry, made the decision to embark upon what looked to many of us like a kind of circuitous long-shot strategy of organizing fast food workers and raising the demand for a $15 an hour minimum wage, many of us thought, boy, that's really biting off a lot. That is really putting a major union's resources into a campaign which, by the normal criteria of business unionism, wasn't going to pay anything back for at least a good long time, but might just change the discussion in some places, might just raise consciousness in some places, and boy, has it ever. The momentum for a higher minimum wage and just the greater attention paid in this country to the pervasiveness of low wage, of poverty wage work, was an issue first raised by Occupy Wall Street, which didn't have a second act. And then along comes this great second act, which has led to minimum wage hikes in any number of cities and states, which has led to the introduction of a bill in both houses of Congress just yesterday, embraced by Democratic leadership, for now a $12 federal minimum wage. All this is the result of really worker organizing and a decision to take some real risks, but also to the strategizing and backing of the Service Employees International Union and its very gutsy president, Mary Kay Henry, who'll be speaking to us first. Okay, actually, I'll introduce you separately, as long as I've done all that. Mary Kay, why don't we hear from Mary Kay first? So, president of SEIU, Mary Kay.